Hey there, friend. Welcome to the Having a Mom Moment podcast. I am your host, Shannon Warner. This podcast is all about taking a few moments for yourself and reconnecting to the amazing woman behind the title of mom. You have so many plates spinning at any given time between your kids, your partner, your job, maintaining a household, etc., etc. But where does taking time just for you play into that? Let's spend some time together, you and me, right now. We're rebranding a mom moment to those sacred moments you take to fill your cup first. Let's connect, tune in, and tap into what makes us the incredible women that we are. We'll nurture ourselves first so we can be our best selves for those we pour into on a daily basis. We'll also bask in the beautiful wisdom of other moms to learn about the ways in which they've tapped into alignment in their own motherhood journeys. Come on, mama, it's your time. We're having a mom moment. Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the podcast. I am Shannon Warner, your host, and I am so happy that you're here. I haven't done this in a minute, but I wanted to say hi to some listeners from different areas that are tuning in. So hello to Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Hello to those of you in Clemson, South Carolina, Miami, Florida, Zurich, Switzerland, Auckland, New Zealand, and even to those listeners in Poland. I see you. Thank you for tuning in. It means a lot to have you here. This week, I have another brief solo episode for you, something I felt compelled to share based on what I'm currently kind of working through in this space, and I hope it resonates with you. And if it doesn't, that's okay. Take what's meaningful and leave the rest behind. I've hit the 1-year mark of the Having a Mom Moment podcast, which is pretty exciting. I have to say it is not the easiest thing being a one-woman show, finding guests, booking guests, interviewing guests, and then recording and editing and all of it, scheduling all of it. Doing the whole thing. But I love it. It is definitely a labor of love, but it's not easy. So I am really proud of myself, and I'm excited that this has been a place for women to come and share their stories and their wisdom. And I'm excited that so many of you have found me along the way. So it means a lot to have you here. I wanted to briefly reflect on what the process has been like in case any of you are thinking about maybe starting your own podcast, or if there's something else that you're really itching to kind of do, but you're a little bit fearful to take the first steps. So the podcast was not really on my radar. I had joked with friends in the past and coworkers, oh, we should do a podcast about this place, or we should do a podcast about this topic. And I'm a big fan of podcasts myself. I love listening. I have a lot of favorites. And again, it wasn't on my radar. I knew the women that I wanted to serve. I knew the mission that was on my heart. So when I was working through Kathy Heller's program last year, which you've heard me talk about her a lot, one of the weeks she had us walk through the steps, like we were going to start our own podcast, for the purpose of seeing what we bumped up against, what fear, what resistance, what blocks or challenges came up for us. And it was a great activity. It was a fantastic exercise. But as I was walking through all the steps, I realized I think I could do this. So I went for it. I had to take a lot of courageous action by just starting. It took even more courage to tell my close friends. I remember sending a little intro snippet with a little summary of what my vision was for the podcast to 3 of my closest friends. And I sent the email, and then I sent them each a text message like, hey, I just sent you something. Let me know what you think. And I wanted to crawl under a rock. I was so nervous, even though the ladies I sent this to, I knew that they would be supportive. But I also knew that if it was something that was not making sense, or was missing the bar in some way, that they would have, I believe, and I hope, found a loving way to tell me. But it's still uncomfortable to get excited about something and then, put it out there to your circle. It then took even more courage for me to ask my friends to be my first guests. And I'm so thankful that they said yes. I'm so thankful that they came on and shared their stories and shared their motherhood journeys and their experiences. It means a lot, and it allowed me to kind of stretch my podcasting muscles and get used to the process. So thank you to those of you who fumbled through those original guest episodes with me. It means a lot. And then putting this out more broadly to the world and having to find guests that I didn't know was a big step too. And it's interesting when you put it out to the world, like publicly, that you're looking for guests, interesting people will show up. But what's even more interesting are the ones who I wasn't sure if they were going to be aligned or not. They weeded themselves out. Either they didn't respond to my guest questionnaire when they expressed their interest, or once they filled that out, they never followed through with scheduling, or some of them even went as far as scheduling and didn't show. But it's all good. The women who have shown up and who have shared their journeys, these guest stories have been incredible, and I'm so grateful to every last one of them. And this is not the first time I've said this, and it's not the last time, but it's just so interesting when you're meandering through this journey and you bump into things that are a bit out of alignment. Oftentimes they leave, they don't come fully through to fruition. It's just interesting to see. So the vision for this podcast was originally to help women reconnect to themselves, and I didn't have a clear vision on how that was going to happen, but I ended up having such beautiful conversations, and women shared all of that and beyond, and I started to draw the connection that these women would not be where they were today had they not become mothers. And this podcast and the way I desire to serve the world through supporting mothers, especially new mothers, would not be had it not been for my own experience and transformation becoming a mother. So I want to implore you to really embrace the significance of your own motherhood journey, no matter where you are on the journey. You are constantly evolving as your children grow. And if you are a new mom, whatever new means to you, embrace that you have in fact transformed in this process. You can thank the girl you were before becoming a mother for bringing you to where you are today. And you don't need to try to get back to being her. It's so important, of course, to bring those pieces of her that you still want to hang on to. But we do need to honor the fact by becoming mothers, we are forever changed. So while we don't have to let that girl go completely, let's be sure to thank her and embrace and honor the transformation that motherhood offers us. And as we know, it offers us that opportunity over and over again. So I can say with every fiber of my being that I believe we're on the cusp of a huge shift, and the women on this podcast have just solidified that belief. I believe women, especially mothers, are at the forefront of this shift. We're collectively experiencing an awakening, and we are all leaders ready to step into a new level of power. I truly believe that we mothers hold the power to heal the world. So whether you lead a company, a team, or your family, you are a leader and so much more powerful, more wise, and more courageous than you know. If there's a dream on your heart, please go after it. That thing you want to say out loud, please say it. Use your voice. The stuff that needs to be healed, please heal it. We need you collectively to dream, to speak up, to heal. Our sisters in motherhood need you to dream, to speak up, and to heal whatever it is that needs to be healed. Your children, they need to see you dream. They need to see you speak up and to see you heal, move through, and set that shit down that no longer serves you. My daughters need you to dream, to use your voice, and to heal. We're all interconnected on this journey, and the magic that you bring to this world, the work that you do, whether you're a badass CEO or a badass stay-at-home mom, the work that you do has ripple effects on the collective. So please hear me clearly this week. The world fucking needs you. You are no fucking mistake. You were put on this earth, on this timeline for a reason. And you and I were dropped into this timeline together for a reason. Whether I know you in real life or not, whether you're an acquaintance, one of my besties, a longtime listener, or a first-time listener, you and I have bumped into each other for a reason. And I don't believe in coincidences. So I'm honored to hold this space, to be in your ear holes. I promise I don't take that lightly. But I've also very recently realized, as in this very week, that I haven't fully been using my own voice. If you've listened over the past few months, you may have noticed my voice has been struggling. You may have caught that I'm also experiencing some thyroid issues for the first time, and I had a bit of an epiphany that perhaps my throat chakra is likely blocked, causing these issues. And I've felt blocked creatively in a lot of ways, such as what to put out on social media, what to share in these solo episodes, which still feel uncomfortable. But I'm going to do what I can to get clear, and I have to for my health and for this space. I don't know what that means for the evolution of this podcast, but I'm excited and ready for the journey. But here's what I need from you. I need you to tell me what you would like to hear more about, conversations you want to hear being had, and if it feels in alignment, I will speak to that or find a guest to speak to that topic. Also, I'm looking to have conversations with mothers who don't look like me. I've been so blessed by these incredible women, but we are just a small reflection of the population of mothers out there doing the work every single day. I know a lot of my listeners probably also look like me, but when I say mothers are here to heal the world, I mean all mothers. So if you don't identify as a white married mother in suburban America, or if you know an inspiring mother who looks a little different, please send her my way. So this week I've dropped a survey link in the show notes for you to share what you're interested in hearing more about, as well as a guest interest form for anyone interested in sharing their journey or speaking on a topic that's meaningful to mothers. And while I love sharing and serving you all in this way each week, I'm preparing to relaunch a one-to-one mentorship opportunity for working mothers and working mamas to be. This support is available during pregnancy, maternity leave, and into the transition of working motherhood. Wherever you're at on the journey, if you need some extra support to be the best version of you in a space we're so often overlooked, I'd love to walk alongside you on that journey. If you're interested, the link to the waitlist is in the show notes, so you can be first to know when the offer becomes available. There are limited spaces for this one-to-one customized support, so please get your name on the list to be first in the know, or share with a mama that you love who may also benefit from this offering. If you don't identify with any of that, I have a new free offer for you. My daily momentum guide will help you create a morning routine to set your day up for success, provide some vibe boosters for when you experience a dip, and some ways to reframe disappointment. That link is in the show notes, and it is free. Lastly, my affirmation deck for mamas is back, and it's available for $7. But as a podcast listener, if you use the code podcast53, you'll get 25% off through the end of April. I will be back next week with an awesome guest episode for you. Until then, remember to take care of yourself. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Having a Mom Moment podcast. I know how busy you are as a mom, so I appreciate you taking your precious time to join us here today. If you haven't already, please be sure to follow the podcast, and if you love what you're hearing, go ahead and give it a 5-star review so that we can spread the word to other mamas who may appreciate what we're doing over here. Give me a follow on Instagram at Having a Mom Moment, and you can check out the links in my link tree for any upcoming events or offerings that I have. In case someone has told you today, you are amazing, you are loved, and I am so proud of you. I hope you have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time.